Alright, welcome back to Mia's Gym. High five to you for showing up today. Woo! Yeah. So what are we thinking for your training sesh today? Abs, lats, quads. Oh, I get it. You just want to work on your overall body today. Your body paragraph? Dude, that's awesome. Are you warmed up? Need a stretch? I am stoked to get into bodybuilding with you today. Woo! Let's go. Oh, hey, if you're ready to build your body paragraph that is, you're in the right place. In lesson 1 of this unit, we introduced the overall structure of an essay. We explained that a 5-paragraph essay includes an introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. In lesson 2 of this unit, we focused on the thesis statement and topic sentences as forming the underlying structure of the essay, the skeleton of the essay, if you will. Today, we'll add some muscles to those bones to strengthen the essay as a whole. We're bodybuilding. Building those body paragraphs, that is. Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about what goes into a body paragraph and how the body paragraph works to support your essay's thesis statement. I'll show you an example of a body paragraph in action, too. Pop quiz. What do you think is the purpose of a body paragraph? What should a body paragraph do? Pause the video and jot down what you're thinking on your PDF. Okay, if you said something like, a body paragraph works to support the thesis statement, you got it. Yep, your body paragraph, just like everything else in your essay, is going to help expand and elaborate on the claim or argument you are making with your thesis. So, what goes into a body paragraph? As you watch and listen, follow along on your PDF and record notes in the section provided. You already know that a body paragraph starts off with a topic sentence. You can think of the topic sentence as the connector between the thesis statement and the body paragraph. Next, you'll add evidence to show your reader what your claim is based on. We'll talk about what kinds of evidence you might use later in this unit. For now, know that your evidence is going to be factual and objective. A quote from a text, a statistic about a social issue, or a scientific observation. Sometimes you'll need to give a bit of context before you introduce your evidence, or alongside it. We'll discuss that when we dive deeper into evidence later in this course. You can't just leave your evidence dangling without telling your reader how you're thinking about it and walking them through how this evidence helps you make your claim. So, once you've included your evidence, you'll write 2 sentences to make your thinking transparent to your reader. Why do you need to write all that? Can't the evidence just speak for itself? Well, no. As a writer, you can't assume that your audience will make the same connections you do. You need to walk your readers through how you interpret and make meaning of your evidence, and exactly how you use the evidence to land on your claims. The first sentence after the evidence will explain the evidence in your own words. Basically, you're rephrasing the evidence to clarify its meaning for the reader. The second sentence that follows the evidence will analyze the evidence. Here, you'll add your own interpretation of how the evidence is significant or meaningful, and you'll prove to the reader why the evidence should be interpreted to prove your claim. Finally, a conclusion sentence can either briefly recap what the paragraph has said, or it can provide a transition from this paragraph to the next. Your choice. Let's take a look at the essay I'm working on now. It's about the indigenous code talkers who were instrumental to U.S. victory in World Wars I and II. We'll start, as always, with the thesis statement. Despite historic mistreatment by the United States government, indigenous code talkers helped the United States win both world wars with a spoken language that was used to deliver tactical information over radio and could not be deciphered by the enemy. Okay, pop quiz number 2. The type of essay you are writing will inform the way you analyze evidence. What kind of essay do you think I'm working on? Is it A, narrative, B, analytical, C, expository, or D, persuasive? If you said C, expository, you're right. This essay is going to explain the role of Indigenous code talkers during the First and Second World Wars. We have our thesis down, so the next step is to create our topic sentences to expand on the thesis. Taking a look at this thesis, can you anticipate what my 3 topic sentences might be about? Pause the video here and jot down your ideas on your PDF. I'm thinking something like this. The first topic sentence will address the ways Indigenous code talkers used their ancient languages to adapt to modern circumstances. Indigenous code talkers used centuries-old languages, often without a written form, and adapted these languages to modern contexts with word association and wordplay. The second topic sentence will introduce what the codes were used for. Code talkers used their languages to deliver tactical information over radio, including plans for Allied troop movements and knowledge of what enemy combatants had planned. Finally, the third topic sentence will begin a paragraph that details the significance of these codes. By using an unwritten language to communicate, code talkers thwarted the enemy's attempts to decipher the codes, thus allowing the code talkers to work in secret. As you can see, just by coming up with the thesis statement and topic sentences, we have gotten a ton done on this essay outline. Woo-hoo! Moment of celebration for us. Woo! Okay, back to business. Let's focus on building up this first body paragraph today. Now that we've got our topic sentence, we're going to design the rest of the paragraph to support it. First, we'll come up with our evidence, a fact, quote, or other piece of information that is undisputed, not up for debate, and used to show why in the world you made the claim you did. Here, I'll show my reader a fact I found in my research. To adapt to the modern context, Navajo code talkers used whale for battleships and iron fish for submarine. Next, I'll add some explanation to put this evidence in my own words for my reader. I'll write, this shows that code talkers were able to use metaphors and imagery to describe new technology with an ancient language. Note that transition words and phrases like this shows, this means, or in other words, signal to your reader that you are explaining the evidence you are using to them. All right, now it's time for everyone's favorite, analysis. When you analyze something, you add your ideas and interpretation of the evidence, including why and how that evidence is significant to proving your claim. To analyze this evidence, I wrote, by drawing on a language known by so few people and adapting that language to make sense for a wartime context, code talkers merged tradition and modernity to create a code that was almost impossible for the enemy to decipher. We'll wrap this up with a conclusion sentence. Here, I'm using my conclusion to transition to the next paragraph. I'm writing, this code became crucial for helping the U.S. communicate in secret during the wars. Maybe you're wondering, what if I have more than one piece of evidence I want to include in a body paragraph? That's no problem. In that case, you can use a transition phrase to introduce your next piece of evidence, then add your explanation and analysis sentences to unpack and interpret the evidence for the reader. We'll be focusing on transition phrases later in this course. We now have our topic sentence, evidence, explanation, analysis, and conclusion all in place. That's one body paragraph down, 2 to go. In the second day of this lesson, you'll review and explain how each of the sentences of a body paragraph work to support the thesis statement. By the end of this lesson, you'll likely have a much better understanding of how to build a stronger body paragraph and a stronger essay. And we're right here with you. Right on! Woo!